Hello and welcome back to your South King County Real Estate Update. My name is Sarah Eggleston with Stone Egg Realty at John L. Scott, and I'm back to deliver your local real estate news for the week. Let's go ahead and jump right on into these slides. All right, so today is December 16th, 2022, and it is the last weekly update of the year. There will be one more update, South King County Real Estate Update, but it will be our year-end 2022 recap, 2023 predictions episode is coming up soon, but this is the last weekly show of the year. I can't believe it. This year has just absolutely flown by. So there is no Seahawks game this coming Sunday because they played last night, Thursday. So they played Sunday and then again Thursday. Unfortunately, they didn't take away a win on either of those games. So I think that pretty much is the nail in the coffin for post-game season. I think there is like a very, very, very slim chance that if they win every game and certain teams lose, there's a chance they could go to playoffs, but seems pretty darn unlikely at this point. So they play next on Christmas Eve, December 24th at 10 a.m. on a Saturday. So make sure to catch that. And what happened this week? So this week was our office holiday happy hour party. It was super fun. Great to connect with some other agents in the office. With COVID, we've been pretty apart for quite a while. There haven't been many of our big company events that everybody comes and chats and socializes. So that was really good to hear some takes on the market, just kind of chatting about life and real estate and raising money for Ronald McDonald House. So I got the message this morning that we have raised over $2,500. Our goal is 35, so we are almost there. If you would like to participate, there'll be some information closer to the end of the show, QR code and a place you can go to donate, or you can check the link below. If you're watching this live, it'll be in the comments after the show. I'll go ahead and jump back on into these slides. The Fed raises the key rate by 0.5 point and signals more to come. So they have raised the key interest rate. The Fed has, this was the 7th time this year that they have raised the interest rate, and that echoes throughout the entire economy. So there's lots going on with that. So it is now at its highest level in 15 years. We would expect that to cause some issues, I suppose. The Fed is trying to raise the rates to make borrowing money more expensive, so it's less likely to borrow money or borrow as much, and overall our economy will get back in control, supposedly. Right now, our rate is at 4.5. The Fed funds rate is 4.5, and they're looking at being 5 to 5.25 by the end of next year. So it is looking like the Fed is planning on continuing to raise rates just at a much slower rate than they have this year. The latest hike was announced just after a really encouraging inflation report. It showed that inflation in the United States has slowed to a year-over-year increase of 7.1. It's still very high, still far away from the 2% goal, but it's down pretty significantly from the 9.1% that we had in June. They need to see the unemployment rise before they stop raising the Fed funds rate. And they're looking at the possible unemployment rate next year to jump to 4.6%. And right now it's at 3.7. So that'd be a pretty significant jobless increase. So that hopefully won't send us into a recession, but it's looking more and more likely, I think. They're looking at our overall economy not growing very much next year. Growing 0.5% is what they're now predicting. So we're looking at possibly more rate hikes in the future, just smaller increments. So gas is one of the big reasons that our inflation number has come down a little bit. It had topped out at $5 in June, and now it's down to about 3.21 as a nationwide average. I know it's more expensive in our area, but everything is. So, and supply chains are getting smoothed out. There's fewer hiccups. Overall, there's a lot of really encouraging data, but there are some less encouraging things mixed in there. The Fed tracks the core prices, which I'll show you a graph in a second. So this next graph will explain exactly what's happening with the inflation. It looks like possibly next year when the Fed meets again, they're looking at a 1/4 point raise instead of a 1/2 point or 3/4 point like we've seen this year. Powell said, we think the appropriate thing to do now is move at a slower pace that will allow us to feel our way. So they'll do smaller increments, test the waters, and see if they need to raise the rate more. So here's that chart. These are the monthly inflation changes. So the Consumer Core Price Index, these are the changes from month to month. So November's number just came out at 0.2% from October, and we're looking at a year average. So this new 0.2 number knocks out the 0.5 from last November. So that is why our core price index dropped so much. December was 0.6. So it looks like next month, I would predict that our number for December is going to be less than 0.6. I mean, we'll see, but likely it'll be less than that. So things will continue to go down. March was actually pretty low at 0.3. So who knows? We may hit March numbers, have March numbers come out, and then have big headlines about inflation's going back up because we're replacing this low number. But what we're looking for is the overall trend of things. And we want it to flatten out a little bit and not be so up and down volatile. And that brings us to our market stat minute. Here in King County, we had 242 new listings in the last 7 days, 464 pending, and 432 sold. So our pending metric did remain fairly constant from last week, but our new listings kind of tanked. We didn't have very many new listings. We haven't had this few all year. So we are down to the depths of where we kind of were last year around this time, and we should expect to see activity and number of new listings, number of homes pending pop up again starting next year. And for our local area breakdowns, in every area we had more pended than new listings, like by a lot, except for Federal Way. Federal Way is pretty close, but overall we are seeing that decrease of inventory on the market that we would expect to see this time of year. It's called the winter cleanup. And if we look at showing traffic for North America, you can see that is a trend throughout the entire country or North America. Things have slowed way down as we would expect this time of year, just due to the holidays and people traveling, kids are out of school. People want to enjoy the holidays and not go shopping for a home. So if you are in the market for a home, my recommendation is don't stop, keep going and keep looking through this time period, because there are fewer buyers out there. You have less competition in the market. You may have fewer options, but if you find something you like, interest rates have come down a whole percentage point since last month, and you can always refinance if rates continue to go down in the future. Take advantage of this low buyer activity. When we bought our house, we actually went pending on 4th of July weekend. That was pretty much, I think, how we locked in our deal. Was there just wasn't as many people out looking that weekend because they were out enjoying their barbecues and partying. So head out during Christmas if you are a serious buyer, because this is the time of year where you find the best deals. And last week, our weekly average mortgage rate was 6.33, and our daily for last Friday was 6.38. If we bring it to this week, we are down ever so slightly again on our weekly average to 6.31, and it was 7.08 as recently as early November. Our daily has dropped to 6.17. So this is significantly lower than we've seen in quite a while. If you look at the few month graph here, we popped up from September. September we had a dip, so then we popped up again in October and November, and then have come down pretty sharply since early November. Just a reminder, if you would like to share in our office raising funds for Ronald McDonald House Charities, I would love for you to do that. Our goal is to get to $3,500. They provide such a great service for the families of children that are being cared for at Children's Hospital. They have a property nearby where the families can stay, provide food, shelter, and gifts. There's a whole bunch of things that they do that they would love to have some of this charitable money for. So if you're interested, you can donate Amazon gift cards that you already have. If you have some laying around that you haven't used, you feel free to donate those. You can donate by buying an Amazon gift card digitally and emailing it to me, and I'll make sure it gets included in this total here. Or you can buy items directly from their wish list. So you can scan this code here and go directly to their wish list, or just reach out and we'll figure out how to get your donation. And available now is our John L. Scott 2023 housing forecast. So our winter buyer and seller guides are still available, but our new release is the John L. Scott 2023 forecast. So if you are interested in what's going to happen next year in the coming months in King County or any of the surrounding counties, I have access to all of the Washington reports. So if you are interested, please reach out. I would love to get this great information to you. 2022 recap 2023 predictions episode is on the books. It'll be Thursday, December 29th at 3 p.m. Please join me for a recap of what we've been through this year, because it was crazy. It'll be interesting to see the whole picture start to finish and what we have on the horizon for 2023. I'm so excited. I love this episode. I had so much fun doing this the last 2 years. So this is the third one, and make sure to tune in because it is so much fun. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. My phone number and email address are on the screen there. I'd love to have a conversation with you about real estate, whether it's your neighborhood or an area you're interested in, or just the market in general. I'd love to get together, answer some questions, and maybe run some numbers, get you headed towards your next move. So please reach out. I would love to have that chat with you. Thank you so much for joining me for the last weekly update of the year. South King County Real Estate Update. We'll be back with our 2022 recap, 2023 predictions episode on the 29th. And then next year, we will be back again. So if you would like to see any changes in the show, if there's any information that you have questions about, that you feel like this show's missing, ideas for things that I could include in this little show, please reach out. I'm always open to suggestions. I'm always looking to make this show better and provide you with the information that is most valuable to you. So please share that. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining me for 2022's weekly updates. This has been a blast. I can't wait till next year. See you on the 29th for the year-end episode. All right. Have a great week.